Hey.
Howdy. I forget that we're not starting it with like the casual, like, welcome back to Girlish anymore. Instead, we're just like talking.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I guess I kind of said it. We're definitely here. It's been a second. It's been
that
a
was the best that my brain could do today is the hey.
Hey. It's been a while, I feel like, since we've sat down and done this. It's been kind of a chaotic few months. Probably, I think it's honestly been like one of the hardest, I think, few months in my life. It's been so crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
it has been a lot. Do they even know that we're engaged? Did we cover that before we
oh, no, I
disintegrated?
think we
Dis-
did. I
we
think,
talked about that, right?
yeah, we did. We
Okay.
are.
The timeline in my head is kind of messed up. Like, I don't remember what I've said
I
and what
honestly,
I haven't said.
I have a theory that if you work from home, I think in approximately
That's
like
true.
5 to 10 years, you'll lose your mind. And I'm in that with
Yeah.
you. Just when
Yeah.
time doesn't make sense, things don't make sense. Oh my
I
goodness.
went to the grocery store on Thursday. Usually I go on the weekends, but like I really had to go on a Thursday. And I walk out of my apartment and I go outside and the sun hits me and I felt like I just came into another dimension. Like I haven't left the house since the prior weekend. I'm not used to like being in the sunlight. I can barely open my eyes. Like the sun is so bright I can't see. It's because I'm locked in my apartment all day working.
It is crazy. So I've been fortunate where I'm like in a very residential area. So I do my best to just like go on walks. I know that it's a lot harder for
You
you
should.
in the environment that you're in, but like, yeah, no, I know what you mean. When I'm like staring at like the same office that I'm in for like 40 hours a week, and then at the end of the day, just like going to the next room, watching TV until like, the next day, it really just like your days don't make sense anymore. They all start blending together. And it's like so hard. So like you just have to like do things to mix it up or you'll go crazy. And so,
Yeah.
speaking of going crazy, I feel like I recently had like the craziest, like, I don't, I guess
You
I'll call
did.
it like a mental breakdown. It was bad. And that's part of the reason why like it's been a little bit since we posted. It's sort of like mental health related, but also like my physical health. I've been to
Mhm.
like so many doctors, I guess, the past like few months because of stupid like things that have happened. I had like a really bad panic attack that lasted like a week straight. Then it like transpired to like a migraine that I had for like 2 weeks straight, which then transpired to like crazy muscle spasms. It's been like a whole ordeal, and I've been to a bajillion doctors trying to figure out what's wrong with me. But I think like in the end, what ended up happening was I had a panic attack and it like manifested like physically in my body or something. So I like had a really like tough few weeks of just like going through like ER visits, like seeking mental health like counseling and stuff like that. And yeah, I think finally I'm getting in a better place. I had like I had like massage and physical therapy prescribed to me by like my primary care doctor. Like that's how bad like my body was just suffering from a panic attack. Which I don't. If anyone else has ever had a panic attack, please let me know because it was like several days of just like of crazy like I had never been that way before, where I had to have friends come over who were like amazing, but like literally like watch me like while I was like sleeping and taking care of me, because like literally just could not be alone. It was crazy.
That's scary. I remember, like, at the beginning when all of that was happening, I couldn't imagine, like, dealing with that because it seemed like, in one sense, something was getting better and then something else started to manifest. And then it was like a whole nother issue that you had to deal with. And it was just back to back to back to back. And I was like, I don't, like, you are so strong.
And I genuinely, I mean, I've been talking with my partner a bunch. I guess my fiance now, I should say.
Your
Um,
fiance.
and like she tells me like I think like you're overreacting, like things are not as serious as like you're feeling them. It's just you're getting to your head. Like you don't have to go to the doctor. Like you're gonna be okay. And while I tend to agree with her, I still get so panicked and worked up about my health that I feel like I need to like go be seen by someone. And it sucks because I also don't have health insurance. So I got this crazy bill from like the ER for like $6,000 or something. And like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do. And I've been calling them because it's been a whole ordeal. They won't like remove the the price for it, even though I should have been covered. It's been like this whole ordeal. So it's definitely been a stressful past few weeks. And I'm also like going into my last semester of like college. And so yeah, there's been a lot of like stuff going on in my life. So that's why we haven't been around, and I apologize. But we're here now. You went to Coachella, and that's what we
I
haven't talked
did. Oh my
about. I
god.
know,
I
right?
went to Coachella. I forgot. It's been a long month
Yeah, it
for me
has.
too, honestly. For both of us. Like I said, like we have said multiple times, we have a link that connects us together. And while I didn't have as much stress to deal with as you did, like in terms of physical things that were happening and having panic attacks, what we have aligned with is stress due to work
Yeah.
and not being treated correctly. And that's all I have to say. But yeah, it's been a long time, and we've just been going through some things, and that happens. And I would rather come back at a point where we feel sane and not record continue to record episodes where we sound like we need to be institutionalized
I know.
every single time, because that's what it would have ended up sounding like. I don't know what I would have said in
Yeah.
that state of
Could
mind.
you could you imagine? I mean, yeah, it's been
It would have just been a vent session.
yeah, I think so. And I guess that's what kind of this is now, but at least we're a little bit more clear-headed at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because I want, we should try and contact like someone like an astrologist, like astrologist, is that the right word? Someone who like
Wait.
knows
Yeah.
astrology and then can do like a
Mhm.
reading for us, like like see where we like how we connect.
You should do
Because
that.
I do
When you
feel
come to LA, we should see somebody.
that would be interesting to like just get like maybe like some sort of psychic or something to see where we connect. Because I do feel like personal lives like we do like connect in a lot of ways. Professionally, definitely when you're experiencing something and you're like at your job or something, I feel like we're both kind of going through it at the same time. But like major life events, I feel like we always are like so in sync and we always talk about it. But
Yeah.
I always find it fascinating, so it'll be so fun. We should like see if there's anyone, if anyone knows anyone that can like read birth charts and shit. That'd be interesting.
I just want to know if there's some cosmic answer to why this happens all the time. There has to be.
I think
It's
so.
not just a coincidence. At this point, it doesn't make sense to be just a coincidence because it happens so frequently.
Our common
So,
ancestor, the Neanderthal, is that's our link.
yeah. I'm sorry, but there has to be some astrologist that watches us. There
Yeah,
has to
no,
be somebody that's in tune with the stars.
I think so. It's very much the community we're a part of.
Wait, have you heard anything or seen the new season of The Circle?
Oh, I watched the whole thing.
Oh, you did. I
Yeah,
was gonna say, I feel so bad for Steffi because she was trying to be like so positive and like talk about the stars, and the second they got a chance, they were like, "You're fake. You're a
yeah,
fake
everyone
bitch."
hated
I'm
her.
like,
That was so funny. I mean, why would she talk like she literally? If you're thinking there might be an AI, maybe don't regurgitate
yeah, maybe
some
do something that makes
silly.
you feel a little more human. I don't
Yeah,
know.
because like right, an AI would be saying those types of things. Also, I want to know how they did that AI for that one character because
Max,
yeah, I want to know like what were producers
like
doing?
how they, yeah, I do too, actually,
Because I was thinking
because
about
that's like pretty
like how
intense.
would you feed it because and the lines it was giving back was like super normal and I'm like was it just a
Yeah,
producer kind of like getting the answer and then rewriting it so it sounded more normal? Like
I don't know. I
I'm
mean,
really
they said the
curious.
producers didn't know what he was gonna say, so I don't know what they did,
That's interesting.
but
Yeah, but I know that the person's face is a real guy's face, Max, and
Yeah.
he's been posting on
Yeah.
TikTok being like, "They stole my
Yeah.
identity," even though I know
Yeah.
he's just trolling. But it's funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah, did you watch the whole season?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, so Emily and I were like, "Why isn't the host at the end?" But it was evidently
I thought
filmed.
the season was like so short.
Yeah, so the reason evidently is because everyone was on strike. It was shot when the actor strike was going on. So I think in terms of I think maybe like crew and stuff like that, it might have been minimal. And I think that's why it was
Yeah.
kind of short and there weren't that
That
many
makes sense.
people. It did feel a little
Yeah.
off, but I enjoyed Miles and Cutie a lot. And Olivia
Yeah.
or Brandon.
I don't I want to know why Paul hated what's the fuck her name? Lauren. I want to know why Paul hated Lauren so intensely. I feel like I missed some did I miss something? Because I don't get why he hates her so severely.
Lauren, I think it would make me so mad because in any other season, Lauren would have won. Like, and because she's so
Yeah.
likable, so sweet, like this, like she's
Yeah.
giving me like Sammy energy or like the other like girls that were like
Yeah.
really like high in popularity. But for some reason,
Yeah.
they all went against her.
I know because she was just like I feel like that is a good take. Like she on season 1, she would have took it to the end. And the fact that she got 5th at the very end below Jordan was insane to me.
And like the fact that Jordan even plays is so crazy.
I will say, I feel like people on TikTok specifically, like everyone hates Jordan, but it's a game. Like I feel like for some reason the circle it exists in a place in reality TV where people like genuinely try and be each other's friends. Like it's a very friendly game compared to other like reality or survival games. So people forget like you're actually playing for money. Like you don't like these people are not actually bad people. They're trying to win the money, right? Like it's all like every reality show is like that. They all have character. They're literally playing characters. So I don't know. I just feel like every time people talk about the circle, like all the people that are quote unquote villains or like have an attitude, like they're just playing the game, right? And it's
Yeah,
kind of entertaining because what is it going to be like if everyone is just best friends the whole time and nothing ever happens and there's like no drama?
and yeah, it was like a chaotic when Jordan came in, but I thought it was fun. It added to the chaos of it because everyone was being like super nice. There wasn't, but I don't know. Cutie was the only one with like crazy good strategy, and I feel like strategy is so key for those like games.
Yeah.
But
She
this
was really
season, a lot of people were very much like thinking that. So I did feel
yeah.
like, yeah, people, a lot of game was played, especially after Jordan came in. Everyone was like, oh, okay, like we're all playing a game. Let's take this seriously. But I think it made for an interesting season that was unique compared to other seasons. So
Mhm.
yeah, I enjoyed
I
it.
hear you. I did too.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe Love Island USA should be coming soon, right?
Oh yeah, actually.
Because isn't
Oh
it
my god, I'm so
June?
excited. I think it's gonna usually like June or July.
USA season. I mean, what season even? Season 6?
Wait, okay.
June 11th is when it comes out.
And then right after is the Love Island Games, which is my favorite.
Oh, I haven't watched the Love Island games.
You need to Love Island Games was the best season that I've ever seen of anything Love Island related in my entire life.
Oh, really?
Like it's so good. Yeah.
We watched the All Stars, and that was really
Oh,
it was
yeah.
weird. The UK like the All Stars one, I wasn't a fan because I felt like they all hated each other. Like they all genuinely,
Oh,
even like the people in the couples, I feel like everyone just hated each other. And maybe because everyone kind of already knew everyone, but like literally it was just all hate in the house. So it was just bad vibes.
mm,
It wasn't even like entertaining.
I see.
But I don't.
I'll skip that. I mean, I don't really ever watch the UK ones. I know everyone says they're better, but it's so intimidating because there's 37 seasons and I don't know everybody. Sometimes I can't even understand what they're saying. So like I'm sorry.
I don't like the UK ones. Emily really likes Love Island, like the format, so she's okay with the UK ones. I just like it's so silly. I literally don't understand them, so I'm struggling. And I know it's so silly, and you catch on, like you kind of get used to it. But I'm just like, I don't
Yeah.
want to deal
We're
with
just
this.
ignorant
I know, I
Americans.
just don't want to deal with it. But yeah. So I prefer the US one, even though everyone says like I feel like everyone that says they hate the US one try and like start watching from like season one of when it was like on TV versus like what it's become on Peacock with like Zeta and then
Yeah,
last season with yeah that Marco
that's
and
true.
yeah but
What the fuck was her name? Hannah.
Hannah Marco
Hannah.
and Bergie and Taylor, they're still together. I love it.
They are. I wasn't expecting that at all, actually. Honestly, the last season, a lot of the couples are still together.
Mhm.
So,
And I love that.
period.
But and I felt like too it was the first time there was like a little like queer moment on there. I had never seen anything like
Yeah,
that before.
yeah. That
So
was
that
cool.
was really cool. I mean, if it was very true to the game, the mobile app.
Very, which I
Yeah.
have been playing.
Really,
They just
I haven't
released,
played it since that
not just
one
released.
time.
It's kind of falling off a little bit, but it's still
I
fun.
spent so much money though. I spent probably like at least like $50.
Then you shouldn't get the new ones because they make you spend more money
I hate
to
that.
not look fucking ugly.
And they always
So,
like say shit to you.
yeah, I don't ever subject my character to that. I always spend the money,
Yeah, I
unfortunately.
know it's
But
rough.
they'll literally say, "Oh, that's an interesting choice."
It's so funny.
Like, that's fucked up.
But yeah, it's been an interesting few weeks. I feel like I've been engaging in just like a ton of like media. Emily and I have been just like binge watching literally everything. Like Fallout was so good. We recently watched. We watched them. We had never seen season 1 of them on Amazon, and then so we watched season 1 and then the new season, and it's so good. I don't know if you've seen it.
I've never heard of that one.
It's called Them. It's like a horror. It's a horror show, sort of similar to American Horror Story in that it's an anthology. It's kind of an anthology. It exists in the same universe, and I don't want to spoil anything, but um, it's like it's primarily like yeah, it's about like it just centers around a black family, and it's giving like very much Jordan Peele's films where it's like a black horror, and it kind of plays into
I
like
see.
the history of like race in America and how that is just horrific in itself, but it's like ghosts and stuff like that, and it's so good.
That's cool.
So
I
I
should look
recommend
into
it.
it. Them.
Yeah. So, how has life been for you? What's been new with you?
Um, well, you know that actually, as of last night, this was really the nail in the coffin. I love Poppy. I love Poppy. I want everyone to know the watermelon flavor. I had it last night. It genuinely changed me. I don't know how to describe the way that the flavor. I was also a little bit high, so I need to try it like fully sober to see if the effect is still the same. But Russell also had it. He doesn't really like sweet like soda drinks either, and he said it was really good. And do you have the app Yuka?
No, I don't. Yuka?
It Do you know what it is? Basically, you can scan like skincare or like food, and it will tell you if it's good or bad for you. Like it'll give you a rating
Oh, interesting.
based on the ingredients. And Poppy, it's good for you, apparently, according to this specific app.
Yeah, I mean it's a soda that's like I feel like this is an ad, but like I feel like it's this new craze everyone loves because like a soda is like 20 calories and it's like pretty good.
It is good. It's described as a prebiotic soda. I think that's what it says on the can. And whenever I think of anything that has the word pre or whatever biotic, I think of kombucha or like pickly like vinegar. So that's why I've never tried poppy because I've been
Yeah.
scared. But then you said it was good and it didn't taste like that at all. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. And now I'm obsessed. I can't stop drinking it. I have multiple, maybe sometimes two a day.
No, I don't
I
worry.
love
I
it
literally, I
quickly.
get it. Doc Pop is like, oh my god, it's so good.
Oh my god, that one is so good.
It is
It's so
so
good.
good. And it sucks because it's so expensive. So I don't drink them a ton. What I typically have, so my advice is Sprite Zero. It sucks because like I'm drinking so I never was a
Mm,
soda drinker. I was when I was growing up, and I stopped drinking soda in my adulthood, and then I refound it
same.
because of the zero technology, where it essentially is just soda with like no calories, and like and you don't even like it tastes a little off, but you get used to it, and like it's just so good. I just like nice like I like having a nice little like crispy drink.
Yeah. What about Coke Zero?
Coke Zero is good.
I love Coke
I
Zero. I
love
like
Coke
it more
Zero.
than regular cherry Coke Zero.
Yeah, and then I always have
Yeah.
if I ever wanted at night, I buy the decaf Coke Zero, so I don't like feel the like guilt of having caffeine.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I'm just like so invested.
I don't know.
There's
I agree. I also stopped drinking soda as an adult, but as of recently, I love getting a little Coke when I go out to eat. Like, because we only go out to eat maybe once every 2 weeks on average.
yeah,
So when I'm out and I have my little meal, I'm gonna have a little Coke with my ice because it's so crispy at the restaurants. You
I
can't get that
know.
crispy. Like as soon as it goes into my mouth, I immediately get the hiccups. Like I want that sweet, like crispy,
Do you get
bubbly
hiccups
feeling.
easily?
It's like crack. Yeah,
I always get
literally, if I
hiccups.
drink anything with like carbonation at all, I will hiccup immediately upon my first sip. I don't know why.
Anytime I smoke, I always hiccup. Like every single time.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it
That's
is.
interesting.
I always hiccup. And then it's so
But
painful.
yeah, I know Poppy does a lot of sponsorships and they work a lot with influencers and other people in the social media space. So I would really, really cool if
I
they like
know.
sponsored us
Like
or something.
reach out. But yes.
What would our Poppy flavor be if they partnered with us?
I'm trying to hold the jokes, hold the jokes, hold them in.
No, I'm my mind is also full of jokes too.
Yeah. No, that's so funny.
I
Honestly,
honestly don't know.
yeah.
But
Um,
I think the color, it should be blue, like the same color as like estradiol when it dissolves in your mouth.
ew.
I think that's what the color should be.
It should stain your teeth the way the estradiol stains your
Maybe
teeth. And then wait, the aftertaste has to
like
be
something mint
yeah,
like,
the minty
like a spiral.
aftertaste. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then it has to make your tits grow like progesterone or something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There has to be actual hormones.
Right. If your titties aren't sore the next day, then
That's
it's
so
not
funny.
not worth it. That's so yeah. Could you imagine an actual
But
like
yeah,
yeah, I would love.
that's my biggest life update is that I'm now obsessed with Poppy.
I'm happy that you found it.
I
Yeah.
have. It's like I feel as though work is like my biggest stressor in life. I genuinely think if I didn't have as many issues as I do with work, I would be almost a perfect human. Like my mental health would be almost perfect because I feel like that's the only thing I ever complain about. It's the only thing that makes me stress. I other than like watching a sad movie, the only thing that's made me cry in the last year has been my job.
Yeah.
Like I don't think cry like your job should make you cry for the
Yeah.
most part. I don't think that's
My
normal.
best piece of advice was something my mom told me, which is so silly. But I was at a job that I really
Okay.
didn't like and I struggled a lot. And I was just like having panic attacks. I was calling her like crying because I was so overwhelmed. And she told me, she was like, don't ever let a job kill you. And I've
That's
always
true.
stood by like, and I know it's silly. I think a lot of people say that, but I always feel
Yeah.
that so hard because like oh my god, the way that jobs like really like bring stress into so many people's lives. I agree. Like I currently like I'm happy with where I'm at in like my career. I run that's not true. I'm happy in the place that I'm in my job. Where I'm at in my career, I just I don't feel like fulfilled enough. Where like I feel like there's so much more room for me to like to grow, and I just like want to see that, and it sucks because like I'm getting my master's and I'm like not seeing that, and yeah, and I just it really is unfair. Like I just wish that we could do this full time. That'd be great, and I know we always say that, because like yeah, I think it's so overwhelming, and I think it's so
Yeah.
yeah.
I try and tell. I think it's easier said than done to put yourself in the mind space that it's just a job. Like once you clock out, you can compartmentalize all of those feelings and then just live your life when you're not working. Or like my mom works in the same industry as me, and I've been venting to her about like how my company's been treating me and the things that have been happening, and she's been telling me that's not good, like that shouldn't be happening. So it's nice to have her kind of give me that perspective from someone that has been working in the industry for like 20 years, because sometimes I think I'm just being crazy or I'm overreacting or I'm being a baby, but like I just being validated that I know what I'm having to deal with at work is not normal, like, and it shouldn't be happening. But also I I've always been the type of person that puts a lot of pride and work into, like when I was in school, I always got good grades, and now that I'm working, obviously I don't get graded, but I always need to make sure that my work is like among the best. I have to be a top performer in my company, and even when I'm at the lowest point, like mental wise, and I hate my job and I would rather do literally anything else in the world, I can't do the bare minimum. Like it's not possible for me, because if I'm not overperforming, it stresses me out. Because then I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to show up on all these reports and then they're going to see that I'm not doing as good as I normally do. And then I'm going to get fired and then this, that. So like, as much as I want to just do the bare minimum because that's what they deserve for how they're treating me, I can't do that. Like I have to keep doing work as if I want to become the CEO one day. Like I can't, it's not possible for me to not do that. And that's what pisses me off, because some days I'm like, I just want to kind of lay off a little bit and relax and goof around and watch a TV show or something. But I can't, because then I get guilty. I'm like, oh, you watch a TV show? Well, now you have these things that you could have got done that you didn't get done. And I'm like beating myself up over a job that I literally hate. And it doesn't make any sense to me. And it makes me even more frustrated.
Yeah, I feel like oh my god, yeah, I feel like Emily's the same way too, where it does suck to be to like have like your job be like I mean, it takes up so much of your life where like you feel like you have to be the best performer, and I know that that's so like it leads to burnout, and like it's just going to be inevitable where like you just at the end of the day, even when you're not working, like all you're thinking about is work, and then it weighs on you, and then like and it just like really affects like your mental health. And so I know what you mean when you say like if I didn't have this job I would be so, or like if I could just like be in a better place, in terms of my career, it would be like significantly improve my mental health because yeah, I it just it's unfair that like I think maybe there has to be some sort of like thing we grew up hearing, some hustle mentality that we feel like we need to always be like the best of the best in order to like be successful or to grow or whatever. But I think yeah, it ends up leading to just exhaustion and then just like resentment towards the position you're in. And so I think that I just think like it's so scummy when like you don't feel like the happiest in that.
Yeah. There was an instance that happened a couple weeks ago, which I told you. I don't know if I should talk about it. Basically, I applied for another position, was supposed to get the position, and then my branch decided to keep me in my current position without my knowledge so that I could do something else that I wasn't aware of. So that like obviously frustrated me. I called my mom, like I said, and I told her. She was like, "Oh, that's messed up. Like that shouldn't have happened." I called my dad. I love my dad. I really do. But I think he's the epitome of like that older generation mindset that like if you just put the work in and you keep your head down, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get promoted. Like that's kind of how his philosophy is. So I told him, and I was like, I was venting. I was like, I said it's really hard for me to keep like performing well in my company when I am treated this way. And he was like, It shouldn't." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "It shouldn't be hard for you." I was like, "Why?" And he was like, "That frustration is just a mindset." And I was
Oh my
like,
goodness.
"What?" Like, what do you mean?
Not
And then
the
he was like,
mindset.
"Well, what is complaining gonna do?" And I was like, honestly, it kind of ate me up. Like nothing. Complaining isn't gonna do anything. And he was like, you're still young. Like you've only been with your company for a few years. Like you just have to keep like I said, keep working. Blah blah blah. And I was like, okay. And I was like kind of irritated that he said that, especially like just talking to my mom and my mom like reassuring me that what was happening was not okay and like supporting me. And then to go to him and he's like, girl, get over it. Like, shut up. Like, keep working. I was like, oh, okay. But then I also started to think like maybe it is like a mindset. Obviously, I could be frustrated. And I think it's okay to be frustrated and give yourself time to just be in a mood. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't do me any good to just complain and be upset for a long period of time over something that is no longer in my control and has already passed. So I guess in some way he did make points, but yeah, I definitely think when we grew up there was still that mindset that you need to just deal with being treated like shit as like in an entry level position. And if you take enough shit, one day they'll finally start to see your potential and you'll get promoted. But I feel like that's such a toxic way to view the workplace. Like, why do you have to be treated like shit and then show that you can take shit and be treated incorrectly just to prove that you could do a position well? Like, shouldn't the work speak for itself
Yeah,
instead of other factors like how old you are or like your age or your background? Like, we're judged on so many things. And I feel like the thing that people don't take into consideration is how well you actually perform in the role that you're in. Like, there's so many other factors that play into getting a promotion or getting hired. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
I had this conversation with someone recently where like people don't, are like the younger generation are having less loyalty to companies as they were prior, like to prior generations, because there is so minimal like, yeah, you're not, I feel like a lot of people aren't seeing that growth. They're there for years and years and they're being told that they're going to get promoted, or if they keep doing this they're going to do great, and they're just not seeing it. And a lot of times, and I had my the VP of my last job, when I was talking with her, because I'll be transparent with how much money I was making. I was making $54,000 at my last job before getting laid off. It was about 57, because I got a little raise. But I remember asking for a raise and being like, "Hey, like industry standard for my role is making anywhere between 70 to like 100K. Like that's just what it is everywhere else." And she said a lot of times in companies, what you have to do, and she literally told me to like look for different jobs. And but in a way that like wasn't telling me to like quit, but she said like a lot of times if the company you're at isn't like, doesn't seem like they're like progressive to like the actual work you're doing, and like, and there doesn't seem to be like that room for improvement or that job role that you're like wanting, that like the best bet is just to jump around companies. And I feel like a lot of younger generation are just doing that. They're like finding just different companies and are just skipping different places like every year, Which also is another thing. Like, there's some systemic issue here because I'm thinking about like how Emily and I are looking for houses right now because we're like wanting to buy a house, and I can't get any like I can't qualify for a loan because I'm a contractual worker and they won't give me that to me. Like they want me to have like a stable job, which I do. I'm on a contract this indefinite. I do have a stable job, but they like require all these things. They want you in a job for longer than a year. And a lot of times for like people, it's just not feasible. People are getting laid off, people, want to keep growing and they're just stuck at their job. And yeah, it is very like frustrating to deal with that. So it's so annoying.
That's why also the job market right now and searching for a job is actually a mess. Like
Yeah.
I think just across every industry. But I do like how more companies are being transparent about what they're getting paid, because nothing is more frustrating than like dealing with such shit at your company and then you go on LinkedIn and you look for a similar position somewhere else and these people are getting paid $10,000 $20,000 more a year than you to do the same thing. So you're like trapped in your company, getting treated like shit, doing what you're doing that other people are doing in other companies, and they're getting so much more money than you. Like that is what took me over the edge like recently. I was like, okay, if I'm being compensated fairly, if not better than most people that do my role, it's a little easier to digest. But you're telling me that I'm getting that much less than other people for I feel like doing even probably more than what is listed in that job description. Like that's insane.
Yeah, I've been seeing like TikToks of people do like transparency. I think it's like there's a transparency street or something like that. There's this TikTok account, and I've seen them like that's like do like a mashup of all the people that were like coders or some I think it's like engineers, and the pay range for all the people that they've interviewed it like varies so crazily. Like it just is insane that like people are making like nothing, and then there's people in that same job doing the same thing like making double the pay if not triple. I just hate it. I just wish that
Isn't it crazy that there's people walking around that make like 300K a year?
I cannot imagine like
And they're not even like celebrities. They're just like software engineers or something. Like they just code
and
on
it
their little computer and then
also
like
like I want to say everyone that if anyone's job hunting, whoever is self-employed, the people that are doing contract roles, kudos to you because to live without health insurance is a type of life that I cannot relate to because I have no health insurance and like I finally got on Obamacare, but like it you have to like make you have to make like literally like $10 a fucking a year in order for them to actually provide you with any support. And then like it is so insane. And like I'm trying to get like some money taken off that hospital bill. And then but I make too much because you have to make like under 20,000 before they even consider you like any sort of assistance. But I'm like literally that is so insane because I don't make that good money at all. But then, like I just can't get any help with anything. And
we live America.
everyone, yeah, get a full time job and get health insurance and benefits because it's so worth it.
Yeah.
But
Gotta love this country.
yeah, I
Oh my
love us.
god. Speaking of
Let
our
us
country,
venting.
have you been keeping up with like all this drama with that football player that's like a kicker and then he had a speech at graduation or whatever?
I yes, it's
Is
so
that not
wild.
I just want to know why he decided that that was going to be like the topic of his speech at a graduate like a commencement ceremony.
I think isn't his
Like
mom like
what did any of that have to do with people graduating?
I'm sure that kicker's mom I think is a professor. Like she has a full ass career.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's crazy, like psychotic. Was this like I don't even was this like a Christian college? I don't even know.
I think he's Catholic.
Like that was
I think it was a
crazy.
Catholic. But
Um,
like, yeah, I don't know. Like, when I saw it, it didn't seem real to me. It felt very Handmaid's Tale. Like he looks like a character from that show.
Yeah. What's his name? Harrison Butker. Har-
Harrison Butker.
Harrison Butker. I've heard he's a, I've heard he likes cheerleaders, specifically the men,
I have heard the same as well. Yeah.
the male
And you know
ones.
what? This is a in a couple months from now, something is going to come out about him that we already knew and were suspecting. And again, it's a tale as old as time. The men that are the most homophobic, they always have something to hide.
Always.
And it's only a matter of time before it comes out. And you know what? Go look at his Instagram if you haven't already. Just go see and tell me what the first thought that comes to your mind is on his Instagram.
I don't know, but that cheetah print tie was screaming so straight to me. That was the straightest man I
Yeah.
think I've ever seen in my
And
entire
the
life.
fact that every post on his Instagram, he's carrying a bag.
Okay, we love immerse.
And I mean, I'm not saying bags are only for women, but for somebody that is basically shitting on the whole LGBT community and women as a whole, it's kind of crazy that you always carry around a bag.
That
Kind of crazy.
also kind of crazy that his mom's a physicist. So love that your mother can have a career and actually like put you through the path that you're
Yeah.
on to be this fucking psychopath, and for you to tell other women not to do that. So insane.
Yeah.
The fact that he was
That
like
is
coming
crazy.
after gay people and also like the women that were literally graduating. Like, excuse me.
Yeah. He was like, oh, you're like graduating with an aerospace engineer. Well, you'll be happier if you just have 3 kids and be a housewife. But that's up to you.
And it's funny because so I don't know how do you feel about Taylor Swift? What are your thoughts on Taylor Swift?
I honestly, I've never been obsessed with her. I
Um,
don't really like her music that much as a person. Like, I don't know. I'm very indifferent to her. So I don't really have an opinion,
I just went on
honestly.
his Instagram. Sorry.
I told
Why
you,
is
like,
he? Why is he putting every photo? It's the same pose with his little purse.
I
Oh
don't
my
know. I
god.
really don't know. That's what I said. I said, there's no way. Like, he has a family. Why is that your Instagram?
Oh my god. I'm gonna send you a screenshot of one of these. What is
They're
this?
not even like good fit pics either. Like,
Not him.
he
Not him
looks
in
like,
the loafers with no socks on. Hold on.
yeah, it's really bad. It's very bad.
I have to send this to you. Where did this screenshot
It
go?
gives like corporate twink. Like, that's his aesthetic.
All right, I'm texting you this picture. Oh damn it, my computer's frozen.
But
Whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
um,
Sorry, what were
the
we?
Instagram really speaks for itself, respectfully.
I muted myself. Sorry, what were you saying? I cut you off earlier.
Um, I don't, I don't think I was saying anything. We were just talking. I was talking about his Instagram when you said you were looking at it. You're muted again.
I don't know why it's muting itself. That's so silly. I just sent you a
Oh wait,
screenshot
I
because
got.
um, what I'm seeing.
This is something RuPaul would wear, like going to the
No,
airport.
actually, that is so funny.
He really thinks he's eating too. Like, yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is so funny. But yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
Like these women are just like sitting there, like being like, "Huh? I literally spent $100,000 on my tuition for what? For this?"
I want to know what Taylor Swift's little boyfriend has to, because they
Oh
play for the same
yeah,
team. So I'm curious to see what his thoughts are.
that's what I asked you about Taylor Swift, and you said you weren't like a like you were. Yeah. Um, I'm. I don't know why. Okay, listen. I know there's a lot of Swifties that love Taylor Swift, and I understand a fandom. I understand a stan culture. I get it. I don't get it with Taylor Swift though. Like I for some reason she just like I don't understand the obsession with her. Like I don't get
I don't either. Um, she like what does she do?
it.
Like,
Yeah.
because
I
like if you think about iconic pop stars like Lady Gaga or like Beyonce or Rihanna, they all have like something that makes them unique, right? Or just like an undeniable sense of like stardom. If I saw Taylor Swift and I didn't know who she was, she just looks like a normal person. And that's not bad. But like if I was to see Rihanna walking down the street, even if I didn't know who she was, I'd be like, that she does something. Like that's not a normal person. Like she does something that is on like an extreme level. But Taylor doesn't give that to me.
yeah, I agree. She yeah. She definitely she gives something. She gives the 1800s without all the racists. That's what she gives. Or maybe with the racists if I'm being honest. I don't wanna I know a lot of people are fans of her and like I know that a lot of people and like and there's a lot of queer people that are like fans of her and stuff like that. Um I don't know. I just feel like in
I
terms
do like how I feel like she is a symbol of like girlhood though. Like I feel like she does do a good job at bringing women together and her concerts seem really fun even though I'm not personally like a fan of her music. Like it just seems so fun and like such a good environment for girls to just let loose. So I will give her that. But like other than that, she's just whatever to me.
I
Don't
agree with
hate the
that.
girl by any
Yeah.
means, but she's just there.
I agree with that. Honestly, I think what it comes down to is there's like Olivia Rodrigo, like sort of lore with Taylor Swift, where they're like Taylor Swift stole like a song credit, and like that's always sat weird with me. And that's just a whole nother. That's just like not a conspiracy theory, but that's something that like has been people have been like I've talked about before. And I don't know. I love Olivia Rodrigo, so I've always felt weird about that.
I like her too.
Yeah.
You know who I think deserves to be on Taylor Swift level but isn't yet?
Who? Is this Sabrina
Charlie
Carter?
XCX.
No, literally.
I love Charlie.
Yeah.
I feel like she's like the fun version of Taylor and like the more poppy, like cunty version.
Yeah, I feel like if you think about pop music, I like the epitome of pop music is Charlie XCX. Like, cause
Quite literally.
she literally has been in the
She's
game
the pop
for
girl.
like decades. That well, yeah, for a
And
long
she
time.
also produces a lot of stuff too. Like she does that all herself. Like she's that girl for sure.
Yeah, that new song too. It was just so iconic. There's
So
a lot of
good. The music video,
I know it's so cute
so
because
good.
she's engaged to George, which is the drummer of the 1975. And Gabriette is dating Maddie Healy, who's the singer of the
Okay.
1975. So it's cute to me. I'm like, oh, that's cute. They're all like friends. I don't know, so
Yeah.
dumb, but yeah. So I love the music video. There were so many icons in it, and like the amount of trans
So
people
many.
in that video.
Yeah.
I was there was like I counted them, and there were there was like pretty much like there was a ton of them, and it was just really cool. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love Charlie. I wanted to go to she's going on tour with Troye Sivan, which I think would be so fun. But they're playing in like really big arenas, which I don't like going to stadiums to see concerts. Like I like being in a smaller venue and being able to dance and stuff. Like I don't want to sit in a seat that's 5 miles away from the stage
I'm going to
on three balconies
I'm
away.
going to visit you in September. I wonder if we can find a show to go to. That would be fun.
We should. Oh
That'd
my
be
god,
so
I'll take you
fun.
to a rave.
Oh my god. Could you imagine? I'll be turning 28
Wait, would you
in
actually be
LA.
down?
Sure. Yeah. I'll be covering my drink the whole time, but I'll be having a fun time.
Did I talk about that?
I don't know. I don't think you did.
I'm trying to remember.
You didn't
That
talk
was in
about it.
April. When was our last?
Our
This
last.
was like a week before Coachella ish.
I don't think we talked about it. No.
Okay. Well, I almost got. Well, somebody attempted to roofie me. So that was fun.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, no, you didn't talk about it because if you did, I would have named the episode or something after that.
Wait, are you sure?
I could be wrong. My
I
brain is
feel
a
like
goldfish. Now we're going
honestly
back.
same. I feel like it would have been a title
Let
of
me
one of the
see.
episodes. Our worst hate comment, early signs of being trained. Okay, I don't think we did.
Girlish.
Our last episode was March 29th, and this happened on March 30th. That was
Oh,
the day that this happened because it was
perfect.
Alice's birthday.
Got it.
Okay, so yeah, this group of so Alice, who you know, she was on an episode one time.
Yeah.
She's one of my best friends, and she lives in like Central California. So I see her somewhat regularly. It was her birthday, so she came down. We went to dinner, and then we went out to see like a DJ that night. And obviously, it was her birthday, so I let her do whatever she wanted to do. I wasn't drinking. I was like being a mom and taking care of her. So it's like the point where the main DJ is about to come on, and we're in a really good spot, like in the middle of the crowd. And if you go to a lot of shows, like the worst thing is either somebody having to go to the bathroom or like having to leave because then you have to navigate through all the people. And then when you get back, you can't get back to that same spot because of how many people there are. So I was like, I'm not like, this is where we're going to stand for the next 2 hours. Like, we're not leaving. But she was holding a drink that she didn't want anymore. She was like, I don't want this. Like, can we go put it on the bar? And I was like, no, I'll just hold it. So I'm holding this drink in my hand. I'm not drinking it. It's just like mostly water, I feel like, because it was so watered down and she didn't want to drink it. I've been holding on to it for like 30 minutes at this point. And there's this group of guys that are like in front of us, kind of, and they're talking to us. They've been talking to us this entire night. And throughout the entire night, they're like trying to offer us basically anything that you could potentially offer anybody when you go out. Like, they were trying to offer us gum. They were trying to give us like chapstick, or like sometimes if you go to a lot of raves, people will bring like Vicks or like nasal spray, because apparently like when you're drunk or like on other substances, like that, when you smell it, like that feeling that you get, it like intensifies whatever you're experiencing. So they kept offering us things like every 10 minutes, like, do you want this, do you want this? And I was like, no, 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 we don't want that. Like lollipops, candy, literally anything. Like, they were trying to get us to consume. They were trying. And I wasn't really thinking of it like that, because a lot of people do just offer you things when you go to a rave. Like, they'll say, "Oh, do you want some gum?" Or like people will fan you like if you look hot, or like they'll people are just nice like that for the most part. So I didn't think of anything of it. And I'm like dancing. I have the cup. I'm holding it like this, like not really paying attention. And some random guy behind us taps me on my shoulder, and he was like, I'm just like, I don't know if you know the guys that are next to you, but I don't think you should drink that drink. Like, I think you should throw it away immediately. And I was like, why? And I was like, I'm not even drinking it. Like, why are you telling me that? And he was like, I'm pretty sure that like those guys just tried to put something in your drink when you weren't paying attention. And I was like, at that point, I was like kind of taken out of the moment. I was like, somebody, like, that's never happened to me before. And the fact that it was in a crowd of people in front of everyone, I don't know. It made me feel really weird. Like, for a couple of minutes, I didn't even want to be there anymore. I just like stopped dancing. I was just standing there, like, I couldn't believe like what that guy was telling me. And then I put the drink down, and the guys, they were like, "Was your drink good?" Like, trying to see if I drank it. And I was like, after they said that to me, I was like, okay, he was telling the truth. And then what I didn't even realize earlier in the night was one of the guys came up to me. He was like, "Are you just going to drink water all night?" Because I had a water bottle with a cap on. And I think he was trying to like figure out if I was going to ever drink something that didn't have a cap on it so he could try and drug me. So
That's just so
that
crazy. You
was
told
fun.
I can't believe it. And it's so funny because like you were telling me this story and I'm like, damn, that's awful. And I was like, you know what? Whenever I go, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna go to the gay clubs in LA. We're gonna go to the Abbey. And then I've been seeing every news out ever since you said that. I've been seeing everybody going the alley. Everyone is getting drugged at the alley. So or the Abbey. Um and so yeah.
Unfortunately, West Hollywood is notorious for people getting roofied and getting their phones stolen.
I think it's been infiltrated. Because this I mean, I guess
I don't think it has anything to do obviously with the queer community. I think like that's just where you go to party.
mhm,
So, all those drunk people, it's very easy to take advantage of them. And it just so happens that that's like the gay part of LA. So, yeah, unfortunately, West Hollywood has, I haven't been there in years because I'm scared. Like, I don't want to get my phone stolen. Like, I'm not going to Coachella. I'm literally going to West Hollywood. Like, why are you trying to steal my phone?
right. Well, if we go, we at
But yeah,
least. But no, that was so crazy. Like when you told me that story, I lit. It's so funny because you were telling me this, and I'm like, you need a drink condom, like you need a cup
yeah.
condom, and it's I
Oh my
literally
God, it's
went.
so funny that it just randomly showed up at my house like a
Yeah, I
couple
went
of
on
days later.
Amazon and I immediately bought you one. I was like, no, take this if you ever go out again, because yeah, that's so scary.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Like,
And you know what? That night was so fun up until that point. Like, it was a female DJ. Her name was Sam Divine. So I was like, we're going to go see a female DJ. It's like one of my best friend's birthdays. We're going to have so much fun. There's going to be so many girls there, which there were. There were like so many girls. All the girls were cool. Like, everyone looked so pretty, like, had the coolest outfits on. I was like, this is going to be such a fun night. And it was up until that point. But that's because I was like not realizing that these guys were like scouting us to drug us.
yeah,
I just thought they were being nice. I was like, at one point, I turned to her. I was like, you know what? Out of all the times that we've gone out, I feel like tonight has been like the most tame. Like, there hasn't been that many weird guys that had tried to come up with us or like weird encounters. And then I literally almost got like, if I took one sip, I would have been out on the floor. Alice was drunk. So what was she gonna do if I'm passed out on the floor when I'm supposed to be the
honestly,
one that's
thank
like
God you weren't
aware?
drinking like that. I can't even
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah, that's so wild. Like, um, yeah, that's so
I mean, even
scary.
if what if I just got a little thirsty? I was like, oh, it's mostly water. Like, why don't I just take a sip and then just collapsed?
I like
I don't know.
to me it feels so like it makes me mad one because it's like obviously that's so awful, like genuinely that is like the most vile thing anyone could ever do, is like obviously take advantage of people and do things like that, because you always hear these horror stories of people ending up places because they were roofied. But it just like yeah, it just makes me sad because if I were in that situation, I know like I'm a little more sensitive than like people that maybe experience it all the time, where I feel like I would be like traumatized and would like never want to like go out again. And it just sucks because like women have to deal with that all the time, where they're just like afraid of just like having to like not wanting to go out because they don't want to deal with like men. Have you been seeing that discourse on TikTok about the bear or the man?
Yeah.
Yeah, and people
Yeah.
are saying that they would rather be like alone with a bear than an actual like man.
Hmm.
Or people have been saying like, what would you do if no men existed for like a day? And like all the women are saying, I would just go on a walk. Like it's crazy,
I would go on a run at night. That's
right?
what I would do.
Oh my god, yeah. Ah,
Yeah, it sucks. And the sad thing, that night, like the guy that warned me, I thought he was like, I had to worry about him because I was like, this guy has been standing generally behind me for a while and is like not moving. I was like, at some point, he's gonna try and tap me on the shoulder and like blah blah blah. But he's literally the one that was like telling me that I was about to get drugged, and the guys that I thought were being nice were the ones that were bad. So I guess my judge of character is not the best. It's not as good as I thought
yeah.
because I genuinely thought like this guy was like evil and he saved
Yeah.
me,
So
basically.
be safe, ladies. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's like
Yeah.
a big thing. Everyone's been talking about like I know it's specifically WeHo where people have been getting drugged a lot lately, but I know that that's been like evidently a big like thing going on. It's so funny because I'm such a like I don't go out much, and when I do, it's very like tame Gainesville. Like it gets pretty. There's a lot of college kids, so it gets pretty like I don't know. There's some good vibes, but it's so funny because yeah, I don't know. Just the differences in like what I have to deal with versus what you have to deal with is so wild.
Sometimes I think about like I do think about what how if you would have fun in like that specific environment. And I think you would, but it's just like a lot. Like you I don't know. I feel like me on the verge of being roofied, like I said, I was kind of like taken out of the moment for like a couple minutes. But then after that, I just kind of forgot about it and went back to dancing like nothing ever happened. And I feel like that's not a normal reaction. Like if you are not in that type of environment frequently, like that would traumatize somebody if
Yeah,
they've never been in that experience before and it would ruin the entire night. But for me, I was like, oh, well, at least I didn't drink it. Haha.
I think
It's
I
like,
definitely want to do something whenever I go into town, so we'll have to figure it out. But I'm definitely down. Um, yeah, um, because I do. I was at a wedding the other day, not the other day, but in like January, and I got really drunk, and we ended up going like downtown. I think I talked about it on the podcast, and
yeah,
I have so much fun in just being in an environment of everyone else having fun. It feels like it's really nice,
same.
and like
Me too.
it only gets ruined when like you feel like you're being perceived, and I think that's the
Yeah.
issue is like when men come up to you or like they'll like interact with you and it's like that's not like the vibe I'm in right now, and then I yeah, so that's like my only fear. um but yeah, like the other night Emily and I went out, and like the fucking bouncer like was hitting on Emily, the bouncer. And I'm like, let us just go into the fucking pool room. Like, please just give me a second. Let us breathe. So
They love that.
I know. So
The people that are actually supposed to keep the club safe
oh
are making.
no, I know.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that is fun and unfortunate that you have to deal with. But yeah, well,
Yeah.
so that'll be exciting, and yeah. So I guess with that being said, that's a fun way to end this episode. Um,
Yeah, it's not as light and airy as I would have liked, but
I
I'm okay.
I like
Like,
having
I
event
walked away
sessions.
unscathed.
Right, exactly. And I like this episode.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can relate to like the work stuff that we kind of talk about, and I think a lot
Yeah.
of people feel similarly. I know it's funny because like we do this podcast, and I know a lot of people don't even think that we like are have full time jobs or that we're like actually like in the
Yeah.
workforce, but like we definitely are very much like we have a 9 to 5, and like
People are like, we know you guys complain about your job
no, I
every
know.
episode. Like,
Yeah,
we know
I don't
you
know why
have a
I'm saying
job.
it this way, but yeah. Anyways, here we are, and I'm hoping everyone enjoyed, and I guess we'll talk in the next one. Hopefully, we're going to be more consistent.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
will.
Okay.
Question mark.
Or we'll see everyone in the next one. Bye.
Bye.